Three type of people will watch my videos. 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, right? I'm just gonna list out 4. You're either one, somebody who does sublimation, or maybe you do heat transfers, and you do that on like a heat press and stuff like that. You're awesome, really cool person. You may be the second person who's an artist or designer, and you're making for a client, or you're making for yourself, and you're putting them up on a PLD site. Awesome stuff, by the way. Or you're this third person who has like a huge following, and you're looking for a way. You're looking for
someone to create t-shirt designs and mock-ups so they can sell to their audience,
so you can look good. Or maybe you're number 4 here, which kind of doesn't really fit anything, but you're a person who loves me just like I love you guys. You learn from me, and I get to teach you guys, and I love you too. So you're an awesome student. You're an awesome student of mine. But if you're any of those 4 people, why don't you share me out to the other 3? Welcome back, you guys. So check this out. I know for a fact that you guys have been making face masks. Not a problem, because that's low-key dope, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been seeing some really creative stuff, and you guys, you know, are doing some good things. Like, I really like it. I appreciate it, and it's helping people during this time of yes. But I know between step 1 and step 3 is a number 2, which means between the idea and the final product is a mock-up. And I know this to be true because if you're a Mr. Sublimation guy and you make something that a client wants and you give it to them and they're not happy about it, well, you could have avoided that in the mock-up phase, right? Or even better said, you can get the wow factor right then and there if you gave them a mock-up template as a representation of what it's gonna look like when things are done. So you get a mock-up of the product from the manufacturer of where you got it from, you know, and it's hard. Like, they don't explain it, or you don't know how to use it because of whatever reason. Well, why don't you take these steps, these 3 steps, to learning how to do it yourself? It's just 3. It's just 3. 3 is really big on my channel, but it's just 3. So look, check this out. We're gonna go into Photoshop real quick, right? I have this face mask already, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is cut it out the background, right? And I know a lot of people, there's a lot of cheap ways of doing this, but the pen tool, this tool right here, will help you out the most, right? And I know I made videos on this left and right on my channel, but I'm gonna make one more real quick. I'm not gonna make one more, I'm gonna make 1,000 more different pen tool techniques that you guys can use, and it's gonna be on my channel that you guys can view it on. You know, share this out for people who need that, you know, kind of like tutorial. Look, so look, you hit P and you get the pen tool. And all you have to do is zoom in, okay? Command plus on the Mac. I don't know what it is on the PC. Don't ask me because I'm not a PC guy. I'm sorry. But all you have to do is zoom in, hit P on the keyboard, and it brings up the pen tool. Or you can go down here, and this is the symbol for it right here. Just click on that. All right. Now, all you have to do is plot your first point inside of the product, okay? So right here. It's okay. It's going to get cut out, but that'll be all right. You got your first point right here. Second point can be right before a curve or a little bit right afterwards, right? So I'm gonna put mine like right here. But what I do is, what I want you guys to know is when you click, you hold it. So I'm gonna click and hold, and then I can drag it out so it makes that curvature that we need, right? Really cool. Okay, so now we got a little small curve going along the lines of this mask. Now we're gonna, you know, scroll over a little bit, and I'm gonna plot my second point right here. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can just keep going, and as long as we mess with this bevel, I'm gonna show you guys how to mess with this bevel because it's coming up. But as long as the bevel is going in the direction that we need it to go in, it's really simple to go, right? So just gonna keep moving, keep moving. I think I messed that one up, so I'm gonna plot my point like right here, you know, bevel it out like that. Look, check this out. Keep going. It's real simple to do, you guys. I know, like, a lot of people make this like complicated because whatever. So look, I moved the bevel and the bevel is not in the product, right? So what do we do, right? You hold Alt Option on the Mac. I'm not sure if that's the same thing on a PC, but it should turn the pen tool into this, like, you know, this pointer or whatnot, you know? So if you hold it, then you can click and hold that, bring it inside, and you can make some quick edits to your line. You see what I'm saying? Really cool. This right here, it does take a while to learn the pen tool, you know. And if you're zoomed all the way in and you don't really need to be. For me, I like to zoom all the way in like that, but you know, I'm kind of advanced at all of this stuff, so I really don't need to do it. You guys don't do it if it's gonna hurt your eyes, but I do it like this. So I went around, I cut the mask using the pen tool. Okay, so the mask has been outlined with the pen tool. All I have to do is hold down Control. I really don't know the hotkeys for the PC or anything like that. Please excuse me, I've been having a Mac for about 10 years now. But you want to hold down Control, click, and then you want to make a selection. Okay. I normally don't do any feather radiuses outside of 1, okay? It's usually 0.5 to 1, right? So just keep these settings like this and you hit OK. You get the dancing ants. So what I normally do is I go into my layers panel and I go down to this mask selector and I make a mask, okay? Except when I did mine like this, the mask went away and it kept the background. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on the mask and I'm gonna hit Command I and it'll bring back the mask. So cool, we got partially all the masks select out from the background. All I have to do is go in and just select out these little areas here using the pen tool as well. So like I said, scroll all the way in. You don't really have to, but if it hurts your eyes, you know, scroll it out. But if it don't, scroll all the way in. That means you can get precision and you can basically make these cutouts. All right, so you got that one there. Keep it moving like this. Normally what I do is I turn on some music and brother be on it. Like I be gone. Listen to Smokey Robinson and Temptations, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm one of them old guys. I'm not even old school. I'm one of them guys that listen to like the stuff from the 70s, cause I mean, why not? Sometimes the stuff that we listen to nowadays just ain't it, you know what I mean? Who is it? Chris Brown, he does something like all the time, but sometimes this stuff gets stale too. You be like, bro, like, are you coming up with something? Who hurt you? Did she really hurt you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I be in my thing. If you get the dancing ants like I do that's going around the document, that means you're selected. You need to select the inverse. So you hit Shift Command I to select the inverse, and then you'll be able to take the brush tool, which is on black, and brush it away. That's only if you got the dancing ants that go around the entire document, right? I'm gonna show you guys that in a replay. Look how good cut out the background that looks, right? That looks really nice. Okay, so we're gonna go back to P. We're gonna take the pen tool and we're just gonna cut out the background. So between step 1 and step 2, I normally like to go into the layers panel, click on my actual mask and hit Command J. I like to just make a copy of it because you never know if you're gonna mess up the first one and you gotta go back and fix it, right? So I turn off the first one, I keep the second one on, and then I hit the desaturation. So when I hit Command U and just desaturate, take out all the color. As you see, it went from a reddish white to an all white, right? And hit OK. Now we're ready for step 2, which is to add the color. Really simple work. I do this all the time. You guys have seen this. So look, you're gonna go down here into your layers panel. All at the bottom, you're gonna see like this half circle, right? You're gonna click on the half circle. You know, look like a moon. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's half circle. You go in the photo filter, okay? You just turn up the density to 100, okay? Boom. It's already done. That was really simple, except that's not all of it, right? So you turn off the mask portion of this. So you see this white box area, hold control, click on it, delete layer mask. Why we need that? We don't need it, okay? But what you do need is to make another copy of layer 0 and bring that to the top. And oh no, look, most of the color is gone. No, it's not. What you want to do is you want to hold control, click on that, and create a clipping mask. And that's going to go to the photo filter. And then you want to hold control, click on the photo filter one, and create a clipping mask. And that's going to go to layer 0. Then on the top of layer 0, copy 2, click on this normal, bring it down to a multiply, and then now you got the shadows and all that stuff. Before this, just turn it off. You don't really get the shadows. You know what I'm saying? You get some of it, but you don't really get that, right? Turn it on, you get the shadows. And then I'm gonna hit Command L, you know, just to bring up these levels, bring in the white points, bring in the midpoints, and we get more of like the crease and all that stuff, which looks really cool to me. I think about like, I don't know about right there. I can bring it all the way back and play with it, tweak it. But we want to bring these into structure basically. So about like right here. Okay, hit OK. And that looks good. We can go ahead and put all of these into a group by holding shift at the top and then clicking down here at the bottom one. Put all of those into a group and we'll call this change color. All right, and I can turn back on the layer 0 one because I think that looks really cool, but we can turn that off and then do that, or we can come in, change the color of this. So we just double click right here on the icon, go to color, and then, hey, maybe I want it white, looks really good. Maybe I want it green, that looks really good too. Maybe we got a person who just getting black. As long as you don't go too black, because then you won't be able to see the mask or anything like that. But if you go like maybe a gray, you know, that always looks good. It's really easy, really simple stuff. But before I move forward, you know, there's some things that I want to do first. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the change color. And this is going to lead us into step 3, by the way. Like, this is really important to make something to look real. I'm just letting you guys know. A real huge secret in my arsenal, quote unquote. What you want to do is you want to turn off the change color, and then you want to bring up a levels layer, and you want to push that dark point inwards, something a little bit like this, okay? And then we also want to take a hue saturation, which is over here in my adjustments, or as a matter of fact, let me backtrack. You can get this levels down here as well, go into like the quarter circle or half circle, whatnot. You get the levels right there, okay? And then you get the black and white hue saturation thing. You can just throw that on top, right? This way you're working non-destructively because it's not on the actual layer. Then you go back to that circle and you bring up a solid color. Now the solid color has to be black, right? And you take that black fill layer and you put it at the very bottom and you get something a little bit like this. And just one more thing to do, we're gonna go to the top of the black and white. We're gonna hit Command, Option, Shift, and E to make a composite shot, right? Which means I can turn off everything or just delete everything up under it, because now that stuff doesn't matter. But just keep that face mask there because we need that. That's gonna be our structure. As a matter of fact, we need to name that one structure. Okay, very first official name for the actual product, structure. All right, now we have layer 1. We wanna go into filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we want to blur it at like maybe, I think for this one we'll do like 5% or 5 pixels, and then we'll hit OK. Now that we got that, we're gonna go into File, Save As, and we'll call this displacement and hit save. Now that that's done, delete that layer. Like, we don't need this layer anymore. Okay, but what we do need to do before I like move forward, we need to change the saturation on this structure. So hit Command U and you can just drop the saturation on it. Boom, lickety split, really good to go. All right, now I'm gonna turn back on the change color layer because I think I need this at this very point in time. And on the change color layer, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on it, and I'm just going to make a new layer, which will make a new layer above where it's at, right? And from here, I wanna hold Command and click in the mask of the structure layer. And I'll take the paint bucket tool, or if you hit G on your computer, and just, you know, paint that in so it comes in black like this, and we'll name that layer design. Okay, and in doing so, that brings us to step 3, which is adding the design to the document, right? So we have design here. All we have to do is make it a smart object, which means we have to either right click on the mouse or control click, go up to convert to smart object, or I think there's a drop down over here. You can hit this hamburger and you get the chance to turn it into a smart object here, and you do that, okay? But what I want you to do is hit Command J, and you can turn off the very top layer. With this design layer, hit Command G, and that'll make a group. We'll call this group design. And before I move forward I want to go back into the change color, and I want to take this copy here, which we're going to officially name shadows, okay? We're going to hit Command J, bring that to the design folder, drop that in, and then hold Control click or right click, and then make a clipping mask onto the design, which is super simple, right? Now we want to go ahead and double click inside of the design. So double click here and hit OK, and it should bring up the basic template of the mask or whatnot that we're trying to create. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop some art inside of here. Just know that if you make a design here, like this is the template, all right? And what you wanna do is you wanna put this in a group by hitting Command G. You'll call that turn off before saving, all right? And then just make a new layer on top of it. So it made a new layer here, but we're gonna take the layer and we're gonna move it outside of the group, the folder, all right? And just as I said, this is the template, so whenever you save, you gotta turn it off, like turn it off. Don't let that mug run, because then you're gonna mess up, right? So here, we got the layer, and I'm just gonna drop in some art real quick. Okay, so the design that I found probably wouldn't be realistic in this situation, but this is just a kind of like a little small mock-up. I found like this little abstract kind of artwork that I'm just gonna drop in here, and I'm gonna hit OK. All right, enter OK. It works the same way. And then I'm gonna turn on this turn off before saving, and I just wanna make sure that I'm covering the edges of this. So as a matter of fact, let me turn off this eye. If you hit Command R, you get the rulers. You can see that? Just bring out a ruler like so, and you can do it again over here like this, and you can bring one at the top down, and you can bring one from the top to the bottom like right here. That's cool too. Now you can turn back on your art and just make sure that it fits inside of this box. So I usually hit Command T, and I just scale it in to the box from both sides like that. All right, now you can turn off, you know, before saving or whatnot, the little template. Hit Command S, okay? Go back into your document, which should not be named displacement, but I'm gonna fix that in a minute. And there it is, except, you know, now we got the shadows on top of it and all that stuff. So what I normally do is I hold Command, I click, and I put it on the design. Like it brings up the dancing ants. I just put this on a mask on the design, okay? And we get this kind of look, which is really cool. Except it's not, because it's peeking over like the strings and stuff like that, and that's not realistic to what people would make. So I'm gonna drop the opacity down to like maybe 30, 40, all right? And we're gonna hit B, and we're gonna zoom in and just kind of brush out those areas where the design would kind of like not exceed past. So like maybe like right here, that doesn't need to be there. Okay, come down here, doesn't have to go past this here like that. Go to the other side. I feel like over here, you know, scroll up. Yep. Now I, for one, don't really like it like this, because there's some things that are happening. Like we can see that there's, you know, the seams to the mask is just not working out. So we're gonna hit Command L on the shadows and just bring up the dark points some, so we can get some more of those shadows back, even the midpoints, and just, you know, continue to work it like this. Okay, hit OK. Then I can hit Command J, clip that to that mask as well, and we'll rename this one Highlights. And what we want to do is we want to go into the layers panel, go over here to the top where it says multiply. We're going to bring that down to soft light, and that brings in the highlights. So we'll just drop this down to like maybe, let's just say 55. Bring the fill down to like maybe, I think, let's do 80. 55, 80. Okay. And that gives us that kind of like, you know, highlights and shadows. So we went from this, or I really can't do a playback, but we went from this, from basically looking flat to this, right? And that looks a little bit realistic. That looks more realistic than what we had, except I still want to get some more of those seams out. So I'll bring up a curves layer, drop it down like so, and then in the box I'll hit Command I, hit B for brush, change the color from it from black to white by hitting X, and we'll just go over the seams because that's really important. Okay, so now that you got that, what you want to do is you want to go into that curves layer, hit filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I would say make a blur of like, let's do like 10 pixels. Let's do 10 pixels, see what it look like. Yeah. Turn off the preview. Turn on the preview. Yeah, I think that looks good. So we hit OK. Let's just turn it off and on. Yep. That looks good. And that's basically it for that. So we just got one more step. This is a bonus number for you guys. Remember when I made that displacement? That comes into play at this point in time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this copy as face mask mockup, you know, by Robert Loyale. And then we'll just hit OK. And what we want to do is we want to go into the design over here, the one at the bottom, not the one at the top. We're gonna mess with that soon. But we're gonna click on that, go into filter, distort. 1010 is fine with me, but you know, we'll see what happens. So I'll hit OK. And then we'll bring in this displacement that we created and hit OK. And if you guys didn't see what happened, it just kind of made it move more with the actual design of patterns of the actual stuff. So if I turn this off, as you can see, it just kind of moves with what's up under it, which is really good. So, and that's basically it, you guys. All I would tell you guys to do now is make sure that you put double click to change design right here. So you guys, that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just showed you guys 3 things you have to do to make this mock-up. 3 things you have to do to make this mock-up, and it's really simple. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys like this one. You can pick this up. It's for free. I put it in the description box. I put it in the comment section. It's there. All you have to do is click on it. You get it, download it. Hey, you can add your art to it. It'd be really fun to do, right? Really simple. Really simple, okay? Hope you guys like this one. You got some value on it. If you did, please share this with somebody who's gonna need it, right? Share this one with somebody who's gonna need it. I'm pretty sure there's somebody. You're one of the 3 people here, and if you're not, you're that 4th person who loves me and I love you. You know what I'm saying? So please share this out. I'm trying to meet milestones. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm stuck at 56,000. I'm trying to get to 100,000, and I'm trying to keep putting out value for you guys. So hook your boy up. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, you guys have to get up out of here. So stay amazing, stay creative. Above all else, stay awesome.